You so pretty. What's up, guys? I'm back. I know it's only been how long it been, Mom? Like 2 weeks? Or something like that. I don't know. My hair is a mess. As you can tell, I gotta go get it done. But that doesn't matter today. So, since I know I usually post on Thursdays, but I have something I want to say, so I'm gonna say it today. So, for those of you who follow me, especially on Instagram, I talk about Rod the Planter. I don't want to say a lot, but I mean more than I talk about a lot of people. And he is doing a 3-part series kind of thing on Instagram Live. He calls it the PPP system. And so what that stands for is prioritize, plan, and process. And basically, this is just an entire system about how he sets his goals and how he goes after them and how he just lives the best life possible. And so if you're not following him by now, you should be. I don't care if you follow me, go follow him. You need to. It will literally, change your life, I promise. So, Rod the Planter on Instagram. Go check it out. He's also going to put this whole series up on YouTube once it's done. So, definitely do that. And so, what I'm going to do today is a little, sort of recap of the first 2 parts of his 3-part series. I am really bad with words, and he is really good with them. So, if you're watching this and you haven't watched his lives, please, please, please go watch them. The one from today is obviously still up. The one from yesterday is not there anymore. But part 3 is tomorrow at 6 p.m., 5 p.m. 5 p.m. West Coast time, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so I guess 7 or 8 East Coast time. I don't know time zones. Figure it out. So, definitely catch up and go watch it from his perspective. But today, he said something kind of interesting. He said, when you want something, when you want to be something or you want to go somewhere, find people who are doing what you want to do and copy them, so to speak. And he said, even if you copy what people are saying or doing or whatever, it's always going to come out different because you're going to put your own perspective and your own twist on it, even if you don't realize that's what you're doing. So, then he said, do an Instagram Live or do a video, and try to copy me as best as you can. So that is what I'm going to do, just to kind of, 1, prove his point that everything is different and everyone has their own perspective on things, and 2, to kind of just share with you guys what I've learned. So if you haven't watched his lives and you don't go watch them, which you should, you at least kind of get the gist of what I got out of it. So, let's go. So I'm going to break it down. I took a lot of notes, and you should too, but, from him, not from me. So I'm just going to kind of go down the list and just talk about, what I have written down here. Because what I wrote down is, the most important things that I took from it, and I think that you guys can take a lot out of it, too. So, I'm sorry for babbling and pausing and saying a whole bunch. I'm just not a good speaker, but, we're working on it. We're learning. So, let's do it. Also, I have a nice, pretty tree in the background instead of my same old boring room, so that's something, right? Okay, so, the first thing, like I said, he calls it his PPP system. It stands for prioritize, plan, and process. So that goes for anything you're doing, for all of your goals, for everything. You need to set priorities, figure out what's important to you, figure out how to kind of compartmentalize those things and how to go after them, and then process, actually go and do it. So he hasn't gotten to the process part yet. Like I said, that's part 3, that's tomorrow. So I'm not going to touch on that, but I got parts 1 and 2 here. So, the first thing that he said that really stood out to me was all progress is change, but not all change is progress. So everything around you is constantly changing. Nothing ever stays the same. And like Rod said, you will never have the same moment twice in your life, ever. It's not gonna happen. So, yeah, everything is constantly changing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're progressing anywhere. You could sit in your room watching this episode of your favorite show, and then tomorrow you watch the next episode, and that's different. Something changed, but you're not gaining anything. You're not progressing. You're still doing the same thing. You're still sitting there, still being stagnant. You're just doing it a little bit differently, if that makes sense. So, but every time you progress, so say today you sat in your room and you watched your favorite show on Netflix all day, and I keep using that because that's what I did today. Whoops. But then tomorrow you decide, okay, I'm going to be productive today. I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet one person and I'm going to smile at them. Or whatever it may be. That's progress. You're doing more than you did today. And so that's different. You changed, but you also progressed. So I really, really, really like that. And that one has really been sticking with me a lot lately, that just because you change something doesn't mean you're making progress. So you need to be very conscious and very aware of the things you're changing and how you're changing them and what you want to change, what you want to accomplish. Yeah, and so that kind of ties into the first question that goes with the system. What do I want my life to be about? So pretty much everything that I'm saying here is just paraphrasing what Rod said, so please don't take any of this really as my own word. It's just my own interpretation of his word. So if you take anything out of this, definitely give credit to him, not to me. But yeah, so what do I want my life to be about? Be specific. Like Rod said yesterday, he gave this example, and I'm definitely guilty of this. When someone asks you, what do you want to do with your life? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What do you want? What do you hope to get out of this life? And people just say, oh, I want to be happy. That's not specific. And I can't even count how many times I have said that. And then now that Rod brought it up, I'm like, oh my God, you're right. Like, that's not specific. Like, that's so broad. There's so many different things that can make different people happy. Is it a false, like, temporary happiness, or are you actually changing your mindset and changing your life to make yourself happy long term, not just like doing one thing, like, oh, I went to a concert last night and I had so much fun, I was so happy, but now I'm not. Now I want to be happy again, so I need to go to another show. No, you need to figure out what it is that's going to make you have that happy feeling all the time. So it's a big process, but that's what he's here for, and that's what I'm here for, I guess, kind of. I'm still on that journey, and I think nobody ever really finishes that journey. I don't think anyone has ever said, okay, I did that thing I wanted to do 10 years ago, and that's it, I'm good now, like, I have no other goals. Like, most people are constantly growing and changing and finding new things that they want to tackle, and that's good, but you just have to stick to the PPP system every single time. So, Rod used this analogy that I really liked. He said, if you have a boat, and it's like the biggest, best, most fanciest boat in the shipyard, that's great. You got the biggest boat, good for you. But if your boat has no gas, where are you going? You're not going anywhere. If you have no map, where are you going? You got a full tank of gas, you got the biggest boat, but you have no map. Where are you going? You're not going anywhere. You're just going to go in circles, round and round. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have things lined out, and you don't have a way to carry it out, you're not going to go anywhere. You're just going to sit there, and it doesn't matter. You know, material things aren't going to matter. It doesn't matter if you have a goal. Everybody has goals. Everybody has dreams. Everybody has things that they want to do, but not everyone has the power to carry those out. So you need to continuously evaluate your progress. So say, this is where I want to be tomorrow. This is where I want to be a week from now. This is where I want to be a month from now, a year from now. You just continuously always evaluate, where am I today? Where do I want to be? Did I reach my goal for the day? Did I not? And just continuously plan it out for yourself and write it down. Write down all of your goals. So here are some of mine. They're kind of very basic. I categorize them and I put the date by it, 9/11, so that I could see, like, okay, that was my goal that day. Now look back on it in a week or however much time, and see what I've accomplished and see what's changed, so I can track that. And right next to it I put no limits. Don't limit yourself. If you want something, remind yourself of that. Write it down, because you have a million things going on through your head at all times. You can think about something all you want, but it's never going to become real or tangible or, really important until you write it down, until you can see it. So I've got to stop saying so much. I need to practice, but that's okay. That could be another one of my goals, is just to get better with speaking, get better with YouTubing, get better with doing all of this without being awkward and pausing a million times. But kind of separate things out. So make categories for yourself and then put goals within those categories. Like for me, I put, I want to have sufficient money. For me, that looks like, I don't know, $2,000 a month, $1,500 a month, just so that I can pay my bills and still have a little bit extra. In 3 years from now, when I hopefully have a house and maybe a family or whatever, that's not going to look the same. That's going to change. But for now, that's where I'm at. And then I put a healthy relationship. I want to have a healthy relationship. All my life I've just had these really toxic relationships with people. So that's my goal there, is next time I do decide to commit to a person and have that relationship, it needs to be healthy. So I broke that down. What does a healthy relationship look like to me? What are the things that I want in a person? And then the next thing I said, I want my health to be better. So that's obviously very broad. Okay, what's wrong with you? What about your health? Your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, what? So I broke it down into all of the different things that I want. I want my mind, my body, and my spirit to all be on the same page. I want them to all get the same amount of attention. Because if you have, the most fit body in the world and you look great and you're this bodybuilder and you eat healthy, that's cool. But if your mind is at a 0 and your body's at a 10, who cares what you look like? You're miserable. Same thing, if you've got this great attitude, your mind's at a 10, your spirit's at a 10, and you're so happy, you're living life, you're positive, but your body's at a 0, you're unhealthy, you can't do anything because you're just weighed down by that one thing. So I want them all to be at a 10. I want to be consistent across the board, healthy in every prospect, every way. And so that's a big goal of mine. And then I broke it down even further from there. Okay, how can I get my mind healthy? How can I get my body healthy? How can I get my spirit healthy? And just really breaking it up into things that this is what I want to do. This is what I want to focus on. This is how I can get this aspect better. So it doesn't matter how many goals you have. It doesn't matter how far-fetched they may seem. Don't put limits on yourself ever, ever, ever. Don't stop working towards it. Don't stop believing in yourself, and don't stop creating new goals, because you're gonna accomplish this. If you work hard, if you stick to this system, you're gonna accomplish these goals. And then what? Okay, that's done. Now we need to go for the next thing. So don't ever stop. Don't ever sell yourself short. Don't ever limit yourself, because you are capable of so many things. The mind really is the most powerful machine that we have in this world, and you can do anything with it. So don't ever limit yourself. Another trick, I guess, is to meditate before you practice, before you write down your goals, before you do all these things. Meditate and just get all of the negative thoughts and bad energy that might be sitting in your brain, flush it out, and then go into this practice refreshed, positive, happy, motivated, because you will always get back what you put in. So if you go into this and you're like, oh my god, what's the point? This is not gonna work, this sucks, whatever, those are the results you're gonna get. So you need to believe in what you're doing, and you need to believe in it wholeheartedly all the way. You just need to commit and be refreshed and be renewed and be positive Because if you don't believe in yourself, no one will, and you're not going to get anywhere. So, you can do that. Your goals don't always have to be quantifiable. So, you don't always have to say, oh my God, I want to lose 15 pounds in the next month. You can say, I just want to look a little bit better. I want to feel a little bit better with my physical body. So it doesn't always have to be like a number or something like tangible. You can just know what you want and write it down and just remember it, and don't let yourself be held back by any limitations that you think you might have, because you can always overcome them. And don't hope for things. Hope is great. It gives you courage. It gives you encouragement. It makes you feel better, but you can't just sit back and, man, I hope I have enough money to pay my bills next month, and then not do anything about it. Okay, well, you can sit there and hope and talk about it all you want, but until you take action, that's not going to happen. You're not going to have enough money unless you go put in the work to get that money, so you need to just, hope is good to an extent, but it gives you courage, not creation. You need to push yourself, you need to go create, you need to get where you want to be, and you need to design your life. You need to figure out exactly what you want and how you want it. Don't be afraid to pay attention to yourself. That was another thing that really stood out to me. Don't be afraid to pay attention. Watch what you're doing, log what you're doing, be very present and aware in everything that you do, and never lose sight of where you want to be and why you're doing what you're doing. So every day of your life is a chance to accomplish something new. Every day, like today, right now, is all we have. You don't know if you're going to get tomorrow, so you need to make today the best you possibly can. There's no time to waste time. So you just need to be as proactive as you possibly can and just make your life everything you want it to be, because no one else is going to do that for you. And you need to have actionable goals. So you need to really, that goes with, that's day 2. Here's where we start the plan part of it. So that all that up until now was day 1, prioritize. This kind of falls into step 2, which is plan. So you need to have actionable goals. You need to ask yourself, what do I do to get where I want to be? So you can't just, like I said, you can't just say, oh, I want to be happy. That's great. What's going to make you happy? Set a goal. Figure out exactly what you want. Set that actionable goal and break it down enough to where you can start working towards it tomorrow or today, right now. Figure out what steps you can take to get a little bit closer to where you want to be. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed. If I looked at all of my goals that I have and I'm like, oh my God, I want to accomplish so much, I don't know how I'm going to do all of that. Like, there's no way, that's just so much. It's so easy to get lost in your mind and just give up and say, oh my God, I can't do it. That's too much. I don't have that ability. But you can't do that. You're never going to get anywhere with that. And like I said, there is no such thing as too much. There is no such thing as I can't do it. You just need to strategize. You need to break it down and make the most effective plan for you. So your plan might look a million degrees different than someone else's plan, even if you both started from the same place and you're both going to the same place. That doesn't mean anything. Do not compare yourself to other people, but always look to other people to see where you want to be, if that makes sense. So if you want to be a musician and your favorite musician is Modson, and you say, oh my God, look at him, he's so happy, he's going on this world tour, he has music videos, he's married to an amazing woman, he has a great record label, he has awesome dogs. That's where I want to be. Don't compare that to where you are now. Don't say, oh my gosh, he has all that and I don't, like, I suck. No, figure out how he got there. Figure out what he did to get all of those things that you love, that you want, that you admire, and go do those same things and make that life yours in your own unique way. So don't sit there and be like, oh, this person's more successful than me. No, he's not. He's just had more practice. He has just put in more work. You can be at that same level. You can be exactly where you want to be. You just have to put in work. So don't compare yourself to other people, but allow them to motivate you. Allow them to push you, allow them to show you what you want and motivate you to work for it. Break down your goals, like I said, until you can actually do something about it right now. Be resourceful. So this is a little bit messy, but it's like a triangle, a pyramid, if you will. Goals are like a pyramid. So you have your goal up here at the top, and then everything else, every step underneath it, this could go on forever and ever and ever, is just you taking action. So here's my goal, here's exactly where I want to be. What can I do here to get there, and here, and here, and then what can I do here to get here? And you just need to take small little steps to get to that big step, because no one is just going to get where they want to be overnight. It takes work, it takes dedication and consistency, and you need to have your goals broken down to a point where you can achieve them. Figure out, okay, I want to be a musician. So tomorrow I'm going to write a song, and then the next day I'm going to record the song, and then the next day I'm going to release the song. Obviously the process is a little bit longer than that, but you can do whatever you want to do. Whatever you set your mind to, you are capable of it. So if you say, okay, I want to be a musician, I'm going to write 5 songs this week and then split it up. Okay, Monday and Tuesday I'll work on song 1. You know what I mean? Just split it up to a point where it is tangible, it is accomplishable, and before you know it, 6 months from now or a year from now or however long it takes you, you'll be there, but you won't get there without those little steps. Like I said, progress is always change, but not all change is progress. Are you okay, Bulldog? So, never stop working towards what you want, and be resourceful. So a big excuse that a lot of people have, like, oh, I can't film that music video, I don't have enough money. Okay, but there's people out there who do, and who are looking to invest in people who have a passion for these things. So go out and find them. Do what you gotta do to hunt down those people, hunt down those resources, and find exactly what you need. Because this planet is full of anything you might need. It's just up to you to go out and grab it. Any great plan has 3 things. So you will never get anywhere successfully or effectively if your plan does not have these 3 things. 1, you need to have a great attitude and a passion for what you're doing. If you go into something and you think this is never going to work, I'm going to fail, but whatever, I'll just go for it, it's going to fail. You need to go into something believing in yourself, believing in your cause, and being passionate about it. You need to love what you do. Otherwise, you're not going to want to do it. Number 2, you need to have a solid strategy. You can't just be like, okay, I'm going to be famous, and then never figure out what you need to do to get there. So you need to figure out how you can get there. Have a strategy and make sure that it works. And number 3, you need to have those resources. So maybe a part of your strategy is finding the resources that you need. That's okay. You need to have all 3 of those things to be super successful. So don't stop and don't ever slow down until you've got all 3 of those things, and just always keep pushing and trying and working towards that thing, and before you know it, you'll be there. And talking about something doesn't mean doing it. It's so great to get your ideas and your goals out there into the universe and to share them with people, because if you share your goals with people, you're going to be a lot more likely to follow through with them. If you tell people, hey, I'm going to make a movie and it's going to be out next year. 1 year from now, my movie is going to be out. It's going to be produced, filmed, everything is going to be out there for the world to see. And then a year from now comes and people are like, hey, what about that movie? If people know about it, if people are reminding you of it, and people are counting on you to get something done, you are going to be so much more likely to do it than if you just hold it into yourself and just, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, you have to really want it. What are you growling at, Bulldog? Excuse me. I'm in the middle of something. Sorry about that. My little guest is getting grumpy. She had to have her face wrapped. But anyway, that's a video for a different time. So, back to what I was saying. So, talking about it doesn't mean doing it. It's so good to tell people about what you want to do, but that doesn't mean that you're getting anything done. Put it out there into the universe. Make sure people are counting on you so that you're more motivated to do it, but don't let that slow you down from actually taking action. So talk about it, that's great, but make sure you're still taking those steps and you're still doing it and not just putting it out there. You need to go for it too, because nothing's just going to be handed to you. And like I said earlier, study others. Find people who are doing what you want to do and study them. Figure out what they did to get there and mimic it, copy it, like I'm doing right now with Rod's Live. I want to help people grow and get where they want in life. I want to be someone eventually that people can look up to, and I want to be someone that people can come to for advice and for help and for motivation. So Rod does that for me exceptionally, and he always teaches me something new, and so I am doing like he said, and I am mimicking sort of what he did, and with the hope of putting out similar results. So you just have to figure out what people are doing, study it, figure out their daily routine, and figure out your daily routine. So it doesn't have to be significantly different every day, but just make sure that you never stop taking steps. Because the minute you take a day up, okay, I think I'm okay. This is a mess. That's okay. The minute you take a day off and you stop working towards something, you're gonna become so unmotivated. I mean, look at me, for example. I haven't done YouTube in 2 weeks, and it took me until now, until finding something that I'm really passionate about, to get back into it, to pick up the camera and to film something. And even then, it's not where it could be if I hadn't stopped for those 2 weeks. You know, so everything you do is a little bit more progress. So if I would have kept filming over these last 2 or 3 weeks or whatever it's been, this video might not be so messy. But it just, you know, I got back into it, and now hopefully next week's video will be a little bit better, and the next will be better than that, and so on and so forth. So never stop practicing, never stop trying. Do a little bit more every day. So if today you did 10 push-ups, tomorrow try 11. That's been a big thing for me. I'm trying to get in shape, because obviously I don't really need to lose weight, but I am very unhealthy, and so I would like to become a little bit more fit. And so it's a challenge for me with my lungs as bad as they are, and things like that, and I'm not used to working out. So it's a challenge, but I just do, you know, 1 or 2 more every day, and eventually it's gonna pay off. Eventually I'll be up to 50 or 100 or whatever it is, and I will be so happy with the results. But it just takes doing a little bit more, pushing yourself a little bit more every day. More action creates more results. So the more you do, the more progress you're gonna see, and the happier you're gonna be. And don't set time restraints on yourself. You know, allow yourself to, gross. One problem about something outside is there's bugs out here still. I thought summer was over. Anyway, never stop growing. Never stop learning. Like I said, more action creates more results, and never let yourself be like, oh, well, I've been doing the same thing for 6 months and I'm still not where I want to be, so I'm just going to give up. How long would you let a baby try to walk before you give up and say, okay, they're just not going to walk? You wouldn't. You would keep pushing them and keep encouraging them and keep going until they learn how to do that thing. It's the same with us. Babies learn how to walk. They learn how to talk. They learn how to do all these things by watching, by observing. That's how you're going to learn how to do things you want. And obviously, some things take a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more effort than just sitting there and watching other people. But that's a big part of it, is just that observation and that motivation and that dedication to do that thing. So never give up, even if it seems like it's taking longer than it should. Excuse me. Stop. She's so grumpy. Anyways, I'm about done. Just have one more thing to say here that Rod said that also kind of stuck with me is, this is your life. Nobody makes it out alive. You have nothing better to do than to chase your dreams. So don't ever feel like, oh, I don't have time for that. I can't do it. what else are you doing? Truly, I mean, you got this one life. This is all that we are guaranteed. This is all we know. So don't just give up on it because you think you have something better to do, because you don't. The most important thing that you will ever do with your life is accomplish your goals and get where you want to be and be happy with yourself. So don't ever stop working for it. With that being said, I think I have rambled enough and I have let Peanut bark enough and I've stuttered and choked enough for this video. So if you made it through, thank you. I know it was a little bit longer than my usual stuff, and I rambled a lot, but I'm not the smoothest, speaker, especially when it comes to things like this, but I tried, and I hope that anybody who watched this kind of got something out of it. And if you are watching this tonight or anytime tomorrow, Thursday the 13th? Yeah, Thursday, September 13th, before 5 p.m. Western time, make sure you tune in and you check out Rod the Planter's live video. If you can't be there for whatever reason, make sure you tune in as soon as the full series goes up on YouTube. And yeah, like I said, I hope you guys got something out of this. Go ahead and leave a thumbs up or leave a positive comment if you liked this kind of video. I have a lot more things like this that I could do. I just want to know if you guys like it, if you guys are interested in hearing more like this, and let me know how I did. I guess my first time kind of talking about things like this on this sort of platform, so I hope I did okay. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave it with that. Don't forget to subscribe, and hopefully, no, not hopefully, no, I don't hope, I don't wish, I will see you guys next week.